Yo, yo, yo! Welcome back to the MMA Short Show. As always, your boy, Steven Moustaris. And now that we've had a couple days to digest UFC 313, I wanted to go over 5 of the most discussed takes right now, maybe 5 of the hottest takes when it comes to UFC 313. So let's instantly get straight into it. Number 1, was the main event a robbery? Did Alex Pereira truly win that fight? And if you're asking me, I understand where some people could think Alex won. I can understand why you'd be upset about it. If we're being honest here, guys, we can't forget that if you're a fan favorite like Alex Pereira, if you lose any decision, his fans going to come out and argue it till they're blue in the face. If Alex Pereira would have won that fight, they'd still be arguing about, oh, he won by more than just 48-47. So it's just in the property with it. It's just in the when it comes to the fighter that your fan favorite, it's going to happen. But you're talking to a guy that always believes that you should go out there and take the champion out. You either got to submit him or knock him out, or if you are going to take the belt, I like to see him as like the RDA when he dominated Anthony Pettis, or when Kamaru Usman dominated Tyron Woodley, or even when Bilal Muhammad just dominated Leon Edwards. Like, those are, okay, yeah, you didn't need to finish the guy, but you destroyed him. That was one-way traffic. But when it comes to these tight fights, man, you're always going to have that. Just always going to have that. I always think it should go to the defending champ. But again, that doesn't make it right, doesn't make it wrong. But I can understand where people are a little upset. Like Alex Pereira, we got to definitely figure something out here in the judging rule book, or however we're going to put it. I don't know what you correctly would call it, the judge's handbook or whatever it may be. But defending 11 takedowns, forcing the guy to go 0 for 11, that's got to speak volumes. I thought he wasn't very active. I thought he was pushing back. Like, as in Alex Pereira, I thought he was on his back foot most of the time. I thought the aggressor clearly was Magomed Ankalaev. I thought the guy who clearly won was Magomed Ankalaev. So I wouldn't call it a robbery, but I can understand where people are upset. But again, you have to understand that it's a fan favorite. People are going to be crying wolf no matter what. So tough way to watch a fight end, but this just kind of leads perfect into the second take. Probably the most popular take right now out there. Is Magomed Ankalaev a boring fighter? And this is where it's just tough, man. If you're a diehard MMA fan and truly love the sport of MMA, you're going to think he's an amazing fighter. The dude's got great defense. He's got great grappling skills. Wouldn't say necessarily great wrestling. He just has great grappling skills, clinch game, pushing you up against the fence. This dude's strong as hell. He's got great offensive, man. Striking is impeccable. He doesn't put himself out there at all to get caught. So, like, if you like the sport of MMA and you like the actual watch it and the fundamentals, you can't think he's boring. But if you're just somebody who's there to watch, a glorified kickboxing match, or somebody you like seeing get knocked out or getting finishes left and right, then yes, technically he's a boring fighter. And if he's going to sit here and stack up, decision wins and not really take chances against a champion like that, then yeah, I mean, he's going to be considered boring for a little bit. But also, if he continues this, he's not going to get his flowers from most fans until about 4 or 5 title defenses in, where now we're sitting there like, holy shit, dude, what he's been doing is impeccable. So clearly, when you go out there and get a decision win that's close when you're trying to become the champion, people are going to hate on it. You're going to be considered boring. And it doesn't help that the UFC doesn't like you. And Jan Blachowicz and everybody saw that fight, and that was pretty boring. But all in all, it's because this dude is so skilled and just doesn't take chances to also not put himself out there to get hurt. And he just got great defense, man. Like, he's not boring, but I can see why people think he's boring. The average fan's gonna think he's boring. So we got to be honest there. So you let me know what you think of that. And then number 3, was this the worst card in recent history or as long in history? And it's a tough one. It's all perspective. It's all how you feel about a fight. I really am a firm believer that we're just running out of legends in the sport to carry this anymore. Like, Alex Pereira carried this fight card. Justin Gaethje carried this fight card, but I mean, I can never call a fight card boring when I get to see Mauricio Ruffy knock out, King Green or Bobby Green like that. That was one of the nastiest knockouts ever. I don't want to call it boring when we got Justin Gaethje and, go to Rafael Fiziev putting on another great fight for us, a 3-round fight. And say what you will about the main event, might have been boring or whatnot. Alex Pereira is one of very few people that will keep you watching until the very last second because of the power in his hands and his feet, man. It's ridiculous how talented that guy is. So at the end of the day, to be fair, I was on edge on the entire time, but when I look back, yeah, it was pretty boring at the end and the beginning. So all in all, it's kind of your take, but I really believe this is just a huge problem going on in the UFC in general. I feel like I just did a video a couple weeks ago talking about, how I've been a fan for 16, 17 years now, and I'm running out of guys to look forward to or to look up to, I guess. I'm having a tough time with NBA, NFL, all these sports, because I'm now 30 years old, and all these guys I'm watching fight are 25, 20 years old, 21, playing all these other sports, and I'm not looking up to y'all. I'm way older than you. If anything, I'm jealous of you for where you're at, making millions of dollars, and I'm over here busting my ass to, just to get by in life. But then again, I'm not a professional athlete, so say what you will. But I just think in general, man, when we look at these fight nights, when we look at these Apex cards, no matter how we look at it, the fight cards have been getting more and more boring, no matter how we break it down. But at the end of the day, the UFC is just becoming so big and making so much money, and they're monopolizing the sport, and they're just owning everything, that they have the rights to do this because we're still going to watch. So it almost feels like we're going back almost in time a little bit when I first started watching in the late 2000s, where, man, we only get one great fight, two great fights max, a card, and then you got two cards a year that really are like popping. And that's what it feels like we're going back to. So it's up to you guys if you think it's the most boring card or whatnot. But then this kind of goes perfect into number 4. Is this the worst era of champions in the recent memory? And there's been such great, different videos or different pictures popping up on Twitter. MMA on Point put a good one from 10 years ago in 2015 at this point compared to 2025 now. And I would say outside of good old, I think we had Jose Aldo off rip, because I don't have it in front of me, but I know Jose Aldo, Anthony Pettis. I know we had Cain Velasquez. We had a bunch of good champions. But at the end of the day, if we look at how we have it now, like Bilal Muhammad, he's probably the most boring champion you can maybe argue that Magomed Ankalaev's boring, especially if John Jones was the champion 10 years ago, a light heavyweight. I can understand, but like heavyweight, the John Jones, Tom Aspinall situation, I'm taking that above the Cain Velasquez fights against Brock Lesnar or whoever the hell he's going to fight. So, I mean, like, all in all, I feel like that's a pretty good time. Light heavyweight clearly isn't as good when it comes to the champion, because John Jones was the guy, but Alex Pereira, Yuri Prochazka still in that. Like, light heavyweight's boring as shit past the top 3, but it's still fun. You got a bunch of Merab Dvalishvili, killer against TJ Dillashaw back 10 years ago. I don't know how you compare that. I think Merab's a lot of fun. I think people like Merab more than TJ Dillashaw. I don't care what y'all say. Islam Makhachev is way better than Anthony Pettis. Maybe not as fun, I guess, with highlight reels, but he's way better. Aaliyah Tapuria, Jose Aldo. I mean, you can't get much better on a comparison. I mean, honestly, I don't think we're that bad. I don't think it's that bad of an era right now. I just think it's a bunch of Americans being mad right now that we don't have a bunch of U.S. champs. So argue what you will, but I really don't think so, man. And then the fifth take, the hottest take that I've been seeing too, does the UFC have a star problem currently? And I've done videos again doing this. And again, yes, I think that we're aging UFC fans. Of course, we're getting new fans left and right, but even if you're a UFC fan since COVID, like a lot of your favorite guys like Israel Adesanya and good old Conor McGregor and all these Habib and all your favorite guys, John Jones and Max Holloway and all these guys you can name, Robert Whittaker, all these guys, like, yeah, they're not really the spotlight anymore. You only get John Jones once a year, maybe twice a year if you're lucky. I mean, good old Max Holloway is finally got his chin checked. Like, I can see it, but at the end of the day, too, they gave so much power to Conor McGregor there that they had to stop. They had to slow the brakes when it comes to the stars, because you're even seeing it with Tapuria. He's already given the belt away. He's already trying to go for a second belt. He's already trying to go for a boxing fight, probably anywhere else. I'm just saying, Kamaru Usman was arguing about fighting Canelo there. Like, people are already trying to take the blueprint from what Conor did, and it ruined. That really screwed with the UFC for a long time, and Dana White. And they absolutely refuse to give these guys the power anymore. So you see how it goes. I do think they have a star power, but I just think it's with the territory of the game, man. Once you give somebody like Conor McGregor, your biggest star, all that power, he goes out there, makes you a lot of money for the Floyd fight, but then just leaves you high and dry. And you've seen him, once, twice since he's been back. Like, come on now. And he hypes us up every year, gets our hopes up. So yeah, it makes sense. But all in all, you still got Team Fight Nerds coming up. You still got a lot of guys that we can love. Aaliyah Tapuria. You still got Max Holloway doing the thing. Justin Gaethje's proven it. Dustin Poirier's coming down to his last little moments. John Jones is always fun. Tom Aspinall is going to be taking over for a long time. Hamzat Chimaev is going to be taking over for a long time. There's a lot of people. There truly is a lot of people that we could love. So Alexander Pantoja, absolute killer. I forgot to mention him, but all in all, I just think it's just a new era, man. I don't know. For me, even, I've been watching for 17 years. It is tough for me to be a fan of these guys, but all in all, I just think at the end of the day, we're just getting to a new a new face. Where 155 is going to be fun to see here in a few years, where it's a bunch of different people. So all in all, man, I just love it. I think it's just a change of the guard. So, of course, all us old heads are going to be saying it. But you guys let me know what y'all think of these hot takes from UFC 313. And as always, your boy, Steven Moustaris. Let's go, baby. Let's go.